What up, AP? I'm Kitty here at the Tola Visuals, and I run a video production company in California as well as play with camera gear from time to time. And today we have a special guest. This is Chris. He also runs his own company called Stop Time Live, and he was actually my boss. I worked for him for two and a half lovely years.
It was lovely. It was really good.
Let's open and see what you're rolling with now. We actually used to be an all Canon crew.
We were all on
5D.
Canon. She went over to Sony first,
That's
but it's
right.
her fault that my bag now looks confusing, right? You see this weird stuff here that says Nikon?
That was me.
That was her. I've been on Canon forever, and I love Canon for time lapse. The gear, I love how it's rugged. I like to build, like my main camera is the 5D Mark IV, right? So I tried to switch to Sony for the A7S because it's so good in low light.
Yeah.
But it was so small. I dropped it twice in the first month. I think I broke it twice.
Oh my God.
And it just seemed like a toy. It just seemed, I was like, why is it so little? This Nikon, this Z6 is amazing.
Sponsored by Nikon. No, I wish.
She told me that it was really great in low light. And I do a lot of low light shooting. I do a lot of nightlife and shooting where I can't bring around a bunch of lights and it's just not appropriate to set up your own lighting and you're kind of run and gun style. So having a camera that's great in low light, amazing. But the reason I really wanted a Nikon is
Because
this
of a
lens.
lens.
This is a 105 1.4. This is like the most amazing portrait lens in the world. It's
the
so
world.
great. It's so great.
Here, you gotta open up and
Oh,
show
yeah.
the peoples.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Can you see that? But these two together,
With
this
the
is like
adapter, too.
low light heaven. It's amazing. Between all this, I have the full range. The 105 1.4 is great for people on stage. It's great if I have like models that I can like really position them and work out the angles. But then, so that's 105. This is 85. So it's a perfect jump. But like 85 is great for event portraits.
Yeah.
Because I can like, hey, just back up, I just have to like go back a couple steps and you can get like 2 people, 3 people. But it's great for doing singles.
Yeah.
And smaller events, it's really nice for
1.4.
getting stage. 1.4 as well. So after 85, we go to this 16 to 35. This Mark III is so sharp. Beautiful lens. It's really,
Not bulbous too.
it's really sharp. I have the ND filters and filters to fit on this, and it actually is the same millimeter ring as the Nikon 105, which is great. But then, this is exciting.
This guy.
This is a 14 to 24 Nikon, and it is so sharp. And it's full frame. At 14, you'd think, oh, why would you want, if you have a 16 to 35, why would you need that?
Yeah,
Let me
why?
tell you, 14 compared to 16 is a huge difference. You would think like, it's 2 millimeters, who cares? No, for time lapse,
Yeah.
interior design, like architectural stuff, like stages, 14 is amazing. So check it out. If I'm on the 14 to 24 on the Nikon, then I can be on the 85 on the Canon. And I'll wear the 85 around my neck. I'll put this on my lovely Gitzo sticks with Manfrotto video head. So these sticks are super lightweight. They're easy to carry around. They're really tall. But so check it. This goes on the Nikon. That can go on the sticks. And the 85 goes around my neck with a Canon so I can sniper. Or I put the 105 on the Nikon, 16 to 35 on the sticks. And that way I can time lapse and get like a big wide or do like 4K video with the wide. I like set up a shot, frame it up. I'm like, this shot will be dope. Set it to time lapse or set it to video, leave it there, sniper, 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 keep an eye on it. And then I'm like, okay, let's move it. So then I move my wide, I set up another shot, sniper, 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 and then
We need B-roll
Flip
for
it.
this. Behind the scenes
then I flip
footage.
it. Yeah, I'll show you some footage.
Some footage. For those who don't know, Chris likes to do time lapses during shoots, photos during shoots, and video. All at the same time.
It all plays together, because at first I was just getting hired to do video. But then I started doing these time-lapse gigs, and I was like, man, time-lapse is so cool to express
It adds a lot.
the party filling up.
Yeah.
Or like the design of the stage, or even the party emptying out at the end of the night, and like
You
all the
just
people
leave it
disappear.
and let it do its own thing.
Right. But then I can scrub through the time-lapse and find the best moments, and I'm like, shit, confetti, boom, like
Then you have
explosions. And
Instagrams.
you're like, hey, I got the whole room at the most full point.
Yeah.
And who wants to sit there and wait till like, oh yeah, here's the confetti moment. I'm like, I just let my camera and then
Yeah, you get thousands
get
of
it.
photos to choose from too.
to be fair, I have another bag with a 5D Mark III
Okay.
and like 2 more wide lenses. I have a 17 tilt shift. One of them's right here. So this is the 8 to 15. Whoop. 8 to 15.
Also bulbous. You gotta
Also
be careful
bulbous.
with these lenses. 'cause
Right.
You can't really protect them with like a UV.
So
Very careful
at
not to
8,
scratch them.
it's a full circle at 8. It's
at that.
180 degree. But I usually use this at 15, where
Okay.
it's still fisheye, but it's full frame.
Yeah,
It fills
eight's-
the whole
eight's
frame.
pretty ridiculous.
But this is great for time lapse.
Yeah.
Because you can in post, you can correct it. I like to get on the dance floor. I like to shoot from the dance floor. At a big festival, I'll get in the middle of the crowd. And I think it shows. Because there's so many photographers and video people that will just stay in the booth.
Yeah,
They'll
they'll
just
stay in
shoot
the
the DJ
corner.
on stage. They'll just go to front of house and just shoot the show from front of house. And I'm like, you gotta work. You gotta get in the crowd,
Get in the
party
trenches.
with people, you know, like, and it's tough because
Times.
people are like touching you and like, film me, film me.
I want to take a second to thank our sponsors Hover for today for showing love to help our creator community. Having your work online is super important today, and owning a website domain is your first step you could take to building your reputation. Hover offers you the freedom to connect your domain to any host or website builder with a few clicks. The details matter, so having your domain name in your email shows your potential clients that you take your craft seriously. Hover could set you up with this too. They also include Whois domain privacy, so you don't need to worry about your personal info being all out in the open. Go to the link here and get 10% off your first purchase. Now back to the video.
But this thing over here,
Oh yeah.
this is my secret for doing long ass time lapses where I don't have
Anti-hours.
power.
I still don't have one of these because they're so pricey. How much? Tell them.
The batteries are like $600. And I also, major key. Also keep deodorant in the bag. You keep your waterproof housing and your deodorant in the front. So this just goes around the camera.
How often do you use this in an event?
Twice in a long event, once in a short event. It depends on how long the event is, you know? So audio, in my world, there's like 3 levels, right? The real gigs where they're like, we want to have interviews. We want sound bites. I hire a sound guy.
Yeah.
And he comes
With the
out with a
lav,
boom
shotgun.
mic and the lav and the little field mixer. And that's the way to do it.
And then do you sometimes record audio from the mixing board if there's like performances on
I do.
stage? Yeah.
I have a Zoom recorder and I have some adapters and I got this really nice Sennheiser lav kit. But this, I keep in my bag. This looks like a little penis.
It's blending into your
So this is the MKE 400, but I tested both of the kind of Consumer Pro Rode mics, shotgun mics, and the bigger version of this. And this one I found got the best audio, and it's like $200. This is cleaning kit,
Cleaning
right?
kit.
just like you know what a cleaning
Yeah.
kit is, right? AFAM, you know about these things.
Fam. Oh, I have a rocket one.
It's got this little thing. It looks like a makeup kit thing. These tissues.
We did a whole how to clean your lens video. You can check that out up here.
And then I've got a ridiculous amount of batteries in here. I have 5 chargers. I do not like to have my batteries dead while I'm on an event. 'Cause
That's
it's
the
really
worst.
sad. Because sometimes you have like 4 or 5 shoots in a week. And even though I'm really good about it, I get home, I'm like, put the batteries on the charger. Backup cards, put the batteries on the charger, backup cards. Even though I'm like that, I still sometimes, third event, you've been drinking, you get forgetful, maybe, I don't know.
You're not supposed to be drinking, but we roll a
Don't drink
different
while you work.
way.
But I have 8 of these Canon ones.
How many of the Nikon?
The Nikon, I only have 3.
Because they're amazing.
Because they're amazing. They're so much better. Sorry, Canon. I love you, Canon.
They're
but
pretty good.
the
I only
Nikon
have,
ones
like, 2.
last twice as long. Business
Never know.
cards, because I'm old.
Let me see your business
And I
old.
I think people still
have a business
hand
card
out business
still.
cards, right?
Don't
I'm
make
like,
fun of me, but
I hand out my business cards and people are like, I could
else?
just put it in my phone, your number. And I was like, well, you can still take one.
they're like, I'm gonna lose this.
They're like, yeah, well, what's your Instagram? Little sampler cologne things. I always get these from little like perfume places so you can, spritz up and smell good.
Deodorant and cologne.
Listerine strips
Okay.
in case
You
you
don't stink
ate
ever.
some garlic. Oh, and a little thumb drive in case you need to transfer a file. I never wipe a card until I've got 2 copies. Never do that. Don't do that. I don't do anything smaller than 128s. I've got
Dang.
CFs and SDs, 128s.
256.
and a 512 there. Other thing I absolutely freaking love about the Nikons, and I'm gonna tell you, it was a huge selling point for me.
Yes, these cards.
These XQD cards are so much better.
They're fast.
I have broken so many SD cards.
So little.
They chip, they're so little, they break in your bag, you put them in your
But these are more
pocket.
expensive too.
But these are so much faster. This is 400 megabytes a second, right? 440 here, write time, that's write and read. They just are about to release, or I think they just did, ones that are like 4 times faster than this.
You're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, so fast. But I've got a little flashlight here, I've got a bottle opener. Don't have to explain that. You know, a little charging thing, you know, some tools. Ooh, for you time-lapse enthusiasts, I got this from Santa for Christmas. You're gonna love this. It is a shit kit.
What? You didn't even open it.
Oh, well,
You haven't used it yet.
I'm not in the woods taking a shit, amazingly enough. If you do a lot of parties, you do a lot of festivals and raves,
Bring your drugs.
this is my drug bag. No, I'm kidding.
It looks like a
it's
drug
custom earplugs. So
Yes.
these,
Oh my gosh.
these earplugs, I had to go in and have an appointment, and they did a mold of my ear.
That's the
But
best
these are
investment.
amazing. It makes such a difference. Like I can really still hear the music, but I'm not damaging my ears. And sometimes, because you have to be right up by the stage to get the
Yeah.
shots, and you're like the subs are like, whoa, 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 and you're just like,
Yeah.
it's painful. Kitty's strength was she had really sharp, really nice shots. Like I could tell, like she knew how to shoot. You know what I mean? Like her photos were great. And like but when it came to like cables, I was like, so what kind of cable is this? She was like, I don't know. And I was like,
that.
I'm like,
We're talking about cable.
could you plug in this TV? And she was like, what's a TV?
I was like Firewire 800 times too.
But whenever she would show up at the office, it was so funny because she's tiny, right? And she's like super fit. She would show up and she'd be like, so when are we gonna eat? I'm like, it's like 10:30 a.m., you know what I mean? And she's like, are you hungry for lunch? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, are you buying lunch? Should we eat downstairs? I'm like,
It's
well,
$5 burgers.
She's like, it's $5 burger day. I'm like, let's talk about lunch in a little bit. Let's get through a few hours of work. But like we'd go to like a gig and she's like, do you think they're gonna feed us at this gig? I'm like, I really haven't thought about it. And she's like, well, I hope there's good food. I'm like, I do too, Kitty. And I was like, I'm like, how does she eat so much? And
Every 2 hours I had to eat.
but anyway, we had a good time. We
traveled everywhere. We went to New York, Florida, Denver,
so
Atlanta, all music festivals.
music festivals all around Chicago, music videos. We shot a bunch of different models. We shot
never
a bunch
went
of
to
rock
California,
shows.
though.
First gigs we did together was Ultra.
That is still my
Miami.
favorite gig ever.
It was insane.
So memorable and life
I mean,
changing.
we just started working together and it was 2 weekends
Yeah.
and it's like the biggest electronic music event in America, in North America, right? And we were doing visuals and like live production with Disclosure, Infected Mushroom,
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, who else? Chemical Brothers.
Rap music.
No, not Chemical Brothers. Yeah, you're right.
Imagine Dragons, I think, was there at our stage.
Yeah, you tell it.
I don't even know why, but we used to road trip a lot. So we had to drive from Chicago to New York, and we had to stop off in Ohio to pick up the satellite van so we could live stream at the event. So me and Momo, this other girl we worked with, we picked up the van, we drove it there, totally fine. Did the whole live streaming thing, it was great. And then Chris decides he wants to drive the satellite van and didn't trust us for some reason, even though we got it there safe and sound. And as soon as we pulled out, 2 seconds, he scraped the entire, that sliding door?
Listen, there was a trailer hitch that I didn't see. There was a
'Cause it's
trailer hitch
low.
protruding. I looked in the rear view, everything looked fine. It was bad. The sound was terrible. It was like, yeah, it was awful.
Literally 2 feet we're leaving. I was like, oh my God, you should just let me and Momo drive it.
But most of our trips were pretty smooth.
Yeah.
The other time we went down to Miami, we shot 30 events in 10 days. And we were just shooting shows. And we had a 6-shooter crew. And each night we'd be shooting 3 events. Or sometimes there's a pool party by the day and then 2 events at night. I'd send 2 shooters to
survive
each.
These days? I don't even know.
Those were tough.
There's
Those
3
were
hours
tough.
of sleep every day.
And everybody was fighting over who got to have Kitty on her event. Everyone was like, why don't I get to have Kitty? Because Kitty was coming with me. And I'm like, she's my...
Yeah, because
I'm
everyone
like,
has to split up.
yeah, everyone has to split up. So I was like, Kitty was very popular teammate.
I try.
What do you feel like? I'm gonna interview you now. What do you feel like was the biggest thing or the best thing you learned from working with me?
How to not be a slacker. I feel like I still hear your voice in my head when I'm not like doing work. I'm like, Chris is gonna call me slacker. I'm being a slacker right now. Even if I slept for 30 minutes and we worked for like 15 hours that day, he'd still be like, you're a slacker.
It's true.
So work ethic, I feel like I learned a lot from you, and how to multitask.
I'm just really proud of Kitty and honored to be in one of her videos.
Many more? Are you gonna start your
Many
YouTube
more.
channel?
I'm not gonna do my own YouTube
Everyone,
channel.
comment down below so Chris can start a YouTube channel. Any other advice you want to give AFAM since you're like 30 years
All right.
older than me?
Here's the keys. I'm gonna give you guys. This is gold. You show up
With a Nikon.
with this Nikon right here. Now you show up,
Just kidding.
you get ready, and you keep moving. Like when you're covering a live event, do not be one of those shooters that's just a booth rat. I call them booth rats. You just sit in the booth, or one of those pit rats that just, like, you just stay in the pit and you just shoot the singer from the pit. Any dummy can take a nice photo of the singer from the pit.
That's true.
When you cover live events, you got to go to the back of the room. You got to find the corners. You got to see if there's a balcony. You got to figure out how to get up high. You got to shoot down low. You got to like get in the crowd. You got to shoot candid. When you're on a prime, you have to keep moving and reframing and getting higher and lower. And these little micro adjustments can make a huge difference. And try to be a part of the event. Immerse yourself in the party and be able to tell the story. And you need to know when to be on stage and when to be at the back of the room, because it's gonna be 1,000 balloons falling. So that's the key. Keep moving, be a part of the party, tell the story. Storytelling, it's all about storytelling.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Chris, everyone. We'll have more stories and hopefully more collabs if he comes to visit LA more often.
I will.
But, yeah, visit him on your Instagram, which is what?
At stoptime.live.
Don't you have another one too?
At stoptime_travels for all my time-lapse and travel videos, and stoptime_visuals for all my VJ trippy fashion.
You do you, fam, and I'll see you when I see you. Find my IG because I post that on the daily.
Stay live
Stay live.
and stop time.
Done.